Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Zach's Credit Card Guide. We've got a couple of cool stories to talk about this week, so let's jump right into it. Our first topic is a brand new card available through Chase. This is the United Gateway card. It is a personal card with no annual fee, so it's great as a downgrade path for the other Chase United Airlines cards. Now, because it is no annual fee, it is a pretty basic card, so there's not a lot to get excited about, but the bonus that it has right now is 20,000 United points for spending $1,000 in the first 3 months. Now, 20,000 points on United isn't necessarily going to go a long way, but again, this is a good downgrade card. So you can get those 20,000 points, maybe you need it to shore yourself up for a trip someday, but again, for no annual fee, it's 20,000 free points. Now, as far as earning on the card, again, nothing to get super excited about. It's 2 points per dollar on United purchases, gas stations, and local transit and commuting. So I don't know if they're going to count like parking garages and stuff like that. Typically, Chase has a pretty broad category there, and then it's just 1 mile on everything else. Now, there are a couple tiny little benefits that are just interesting, not necessarily entirely valuable. They're just interesting. So the first is you'll get a 25% bonus when you're making purchases through the Mileage Plus app. Now, this doesn't get a lot of talk time like on the bigger channels and stuff. This is kind of a secret and I don't really know why, but it's an app that you can download through United, and you can buy basically digital gift cards for a bunch of different merchants and you get United points. So this allows you to supercharge pretty much any card you want to load in there. It doesn't have to be a United card, it doesn't even have to be a Chase card, it can be literally any card. And as long as you buy, again, these are just digital gift cards through this app, then you get all of these miles deposited into your United account. And you can buy them like down to the penny. So like what I've done before is like, even when I'm like at the checkout at like Home Depot or something like that, because it's super fast, like you get the number instantly. So they'll say, okay, your total is $149.29 or whatever. I just type it in real quick, click pay, and you get the gift card number and everything. And I'll just like show the cashier. And sometimes they've like punched it in. They're like, that was like exactly what it is. Like, it just seems weird that you'd have a gift card with that exact number on it, so people don't really know what you're doing. And sometimes I even get a little self-conscious that they think I'm like scamming or something like that. Nobody's ever said anything. Anyway, going off on a tangent. The point is, this Mileage Plus app is really cool and you should definitely download it, because again, this allows you to like supercharge any of your other cards. So what's cool is, for instance, like Domino's. I know they're not great pizza and everything. I'm just using them as an example when I look through the app real quick for this video. Like right now, Domino's has 5 miles per dollar. Now, if we think about it, so like say I'm gonna use my Sapphire Reserve that gets 3 points per dollar on dining. I'm getting those same 3 points because typically Chase will recognize the purchase as the underlying merchant. There was kind of a hack of sorts, or a glitch is the right word, early when this first came out, that these were all coding as travel because they came through as United. So a lot of people were getting excited that all of these purchases, no matter where they were from, were coding as travel, which in a lot of cases then you get your 3 points, and maybe that's better than what you'd otherwise get. Now they do code as what the underlying merchant is. So in this case, like I said, let's say Domino's or whatever, I'm getting my 3 points per dollar on my Sapphire Reserve, but then I'm also, in this case for Domino's specifically, getting 5 United miles per dollar on top of that. So I'm getting 8 points per dollar in that instance. Now, they do range all the way down from like 1 mile per dollar, and sometimes there are promotions like a lot higher than that. So the point is, this is entirely free to use, easy to use, and supercharges pretty much any card you want to. So it's a really cool thing, and I guess to tie it back into what we're talking about, this new card, you get a 25% bonus on top of that when you're buying these gift cards through this portal. So pretty cool benefit. Again, not entirely valuable, just kind of interesting, but definitely check out that app. Now, they do say you will have additional award availability in the main cabin. There's really no way to quantify that or say how valuable that is, but that is a benefit of the card. And then last, you get 25% back on in-flight purchases. So that little rum and coke that you have right after takeoff or whatever, you get 25% back. Again, not entirely valuable, but just a cool little perk for a no annual fee card. And besides no annual fee, there's no foreign transaction fee. So if this is one of the few cards that you have in your wallet, you can take it traveling and you won't have any issues. So again, a mildly interesting card. One, if you're just looking for a quick sign-up bonus, that's cool, but more as a downgrade path for the annual fee paying United cards. So if you get one of the other ones that has maybe a higher bonus, maybe you even get a waived annual fee in the first year, you could product change to this one in year 2. So that's a good place for it, the United Gateway card. Second card we're going to talk about today is the IGH Premier, and again this is from Chase, and the reason I'm talking about it is because there is a historically high offer on it, and now I'm kind of mad because I didn't get this. I mean, it's only mildly better than what I got a few months ago, but this is a good keeper card in its own right. Like most of the mainstream hotel cards, you get an annual night every year, so that makes up for the annual fee, which makes it easy to keep. Now we're not going to go into a whole deep dive on this card. We did a video a little while ago, I think around the time that I picked it up. So right now it is offering 140,000 miles again, plus a $50 statement credit after your first purchase. And those 140,000 points are after 3,000 in the first 3 months, which is pretty easy to hit. Pretty interesting bonus. You get those 140,000 IGH points, which should be good for several nights, plus 50 bucks. So you could even put that 50 bucks in your head kind of towards that first year annual fee. I wish they would have just waived the annual fee, but whatever. So pretty cool bonus, pretty cool card. Again, we're not going to do a whole deep dive on the card. We've done that before, but if you are looking at the IGH card, I do recommend it. It's one I have in my wallet and I'll probably keep long term. And if you do want to help me out, you can use my link to apply for it down in the description. And now our last story we're gonna talk about. All right, guys, sit down. We're gonna get real for a second. So this has never happened to me before. So Bank of America, you. Okay, so here's my story with Bank of America. Now, I've applied for a couple business cards. This is kind of a side gig for me. I have this part-time media business that I do. I do a lot of different things, one of which is make videos for you guys on this channel. I also have another like product review and unboxing channel, so go check that out and subscribe there too if you want. But I do a lot of these things. I make product promotional videos for companies, so I have this legitimate side business, right? And I've opened up a few business cards to kind of run through that business, right? So the things I have to buy, whatever I have to do, I have a couple business cards for that. I've applied for some of the business cards with Bank of America before, and they're the only issuer that I've had drama. Just drama. I'm just gonna get real with you guys for a second. When I've applied for cards with other issuers, I've never had a problem. I've never even had to talk to anybody, never had to verify anything. I could if I needed to. I don't have a business, like I have a legit thing that I'm doing here, but I've never had to, except for the Wells Fargo card. I did have to actually go in and talk to somebody, but even then I didn't really have any drama. With Bank of America, like the first time I applied for one, they said they would only open it if I opened a CD as well, which is kind of weird. And I didn't take that. Now I kind of wish I would have, but that was the problem at the time. They wanted me to open up a $2,500 CD. And I said, no, I don't really want to do that. And I kind of walked away. I applied for a different card, I think like 6 months, maybe a year later. And that time what happened to me was what happens to a lot of people, where they wanted all sorts of like extra documentation that I run as a sole proprietor and I just don't have. So they wanted like articles of incorporation, stuff with the state, all sorts of extra drama that, again, I'm just not in the mood for. So I've given up on their business cards. And again, unless you have like an LLC or you've actually incorporated, if you're running as a sole proprietor, I wouldn't even bother with Bank of America. But back in February, I applied for the cash rewards card, and I think we even did a video about it. So I got the cash reward card back in February, got the bonus personal card. I didn't even have any issues with that. It was instant approval, no big deal. Well, I got the bonus and then I stopped using it a whole lot because I was looking at other cards. So it's been sitting in my wallet with the rest of my cards, and I got an email the other day that said they've closed the account. I haven't got any communication from them, no letters, no smoke signals, nothing. All of a sudden I get an email, we've closed your account. So I called them up, right? Now it's not necessarily a card I was really going to use long term. It's a no annual fee card, so I was counting on it for an anchor card. I've got a few no annual fee cards that kind of, as you age, your accounts age with you, and that helps your credit score in the long term. So that's why no annual fee cards are great to pick up. So that was really the only part that irked me. Them not really saying anything to a guy before they do that is what it is. Again, I've kind of come to expect this kind of bullshit from Bank of America, but I called them up anyway, just out of curiosity, so I could at least tell you guys what's going on. So I called them and I got somebody who sounded like she had a couple brain cells to rub together, and she was asking me, when's the last time you used it? Probably because the first thing she's thinking of is like dormancy, right? Because that can happen. If you don't use a card for a long time, they might close it. I've only had the thing since February. Last transaction on it is probably like May or June, so not that big a deal. She mentioned something, like she was reading off a screen and said something about like risk analysis or risk something. I couldn't really hear her. And it makes me wonder what exactly Bank of America is doing. And I have applied for, I think, like 2 cards since getting that one. And it makes me wonder if Bank of America like monitors your credit report kind of ongoing, and if they think I'm like a bust out guy or something like that. I think we've talked about that before. In a really short explanation, bust out fraud is something that people will do. They'll get a lot of credit over time and they'll pay their bill, they'll look like a good customer, and they get a lot of credit over the years, and then all of a sudden they run them all up, they max them all out, they go to the Apple Store, they go to Burberry, they go all over the place, and then they disappear and default on the credit cards. Well, a lot of what we do looks like that. We apply for a lot of cards, we hold on to them, and again, they look like good customers, so it doesn't matter if you pay your bill on time or if you keep your utilization low. They do that too until they don't, and we look like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's what happened, and it could have nothing to do with that at all, because again, my credit report hasn't changed a whole lot since February. I think I've opened 2 cards since then, so I don't feel like that's it. And my utilization and everything is great. Like, I've got a decent score and everything's good on there, right? And I even lower my limits. We've talked about that before. So like on cards I'm not using a whole lot, I lower my limits to make me look like less of a risk. So I don't know if that's it, but she said something about like risk algorithm. So I think it's either that like Bank of America monitors your credit report on an ongoing basis, which I don't know if they can. I don't know if they have the capability or the permission, or I don't know if that's it, but that's one possibility. The other thing could be just with the COVID drama. Some banks have been like slashing accounts, slashing credit limits. My credit limit on my Capital One card got slashed. It was like 15 grand. It got taken down to I think like 5. Now that one I haven't touched in like years, and I should probably dust it off just to keep it active. But Capital One slashed the limit on that one, and they told me it was because I haven't been using it recently. They worded it something like, we've lowered your limit to well above what you've been using, something like that, which I'm fine with. That doesn't bother me at all. Cool, guys. And a lot of the banks have been doing stuff like that because they want to lower their risk. They're worried about unemployment, again with the COVID drama and everything, so they don't want people to default on their cards. So they've lowered limits on accounts. They've even closed some accounts. Other issuers have done this too. And it makes me wonder if that's what happened with Bank of America. That even though the account has only been open since February and last used like in May, just a couple months ago, that because it's been dormant ever since, they're looking for easy accounts to close to lower their risk overall. And I'm not a customer that's making them any money right now. If it's that, I can't really fault them other than maybe tell a guy first. Like maybe send me an email or a phone call like, hey, if you don't use your card, we're going to close it. At least then I'd expect it. And then I don't think I would really fault them. In fact, I probably would have used it to keep it open. But being that I don't know which it is, and I will get a letter in the mail, and I'm sure it'll have some vague nonsense, no more helpful than what this gal told me on the phone. But that's what happened. So I guess the moral of the story here, guys, is I guess 1, keep your cards active. I try to dust them all off like at least once every 6 months, but as you get more and more cards, that just becomes less feasible to do. So if you can, try to keep your cards open, and especially with Bank of America, I would be really cautious right now because they are a little bit more conservative anyway, and then I've just had nothing but problems with them at every turn, so I'm probably never gonna screw with them again. Which, they might be happy with. So anyway, those are the stories this week, guys. What I want to know from you is, has anything like this happened to you, especially recently? Have you had any of your accounts slashed, credit lines lowered, closed entirely like me? Has any of that happened to you guys? Let everybody know down in the comments. Maybe we can share some data points and figure out what's going on. If you guys have any other comments or questions, please do leave them down below. I try to get to every single one. If you'd like to get in touch, here's my social media links, which you can find down in the description as well. And last, before we go, guys, if you enjoy straightforward, to the point content like this, where we talk about credit card points and miles, please make sure to leave the video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Pretty easy and free ways to help support the channel. That's all I've got for you this time, guys. See you at the next one. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure to drop a comment down below and give the video a thumbs up. Here's some other videos that I think you'll really like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos, and I'm on Facebook and Twitter as well. See you at the next one.